Hello, everybody. MJ, aka Victor, here, and it's been a lot of thoughts going on, and I just kind of wanted to here we go. So, post traumatic slavery disorder. Post traumatic slavery disorder, PTSD. That's what we're dealing with now. There's a lot of ways I can take this. I'm feeling a lot of the energies that are going on now. It's a lot of uneasiness, a lot of chaos, a lot of deception. Um, and I'm trying to give a higher perspective, all right? So, if anybody has heard me talk, I talk about us being spiritual beings having a human experience, right? So, you got your spirit, you got your mind, and then you got your body, okay? And I talk about this matrix, okay? So, we're going to talk about the mental aspect of it. I talk a lot about the spiritual aspect. That's the root cause. What you're seeing is a manifestation of a spiritual conflict, spiritual war, or however you want to look at it. The current matrix is crumbling. What is this matrix? So, since we're all spiritual beings having this human experience, this level, this matrix, is our co-creation. Okay, so there's no one above you. There's no one below you. We're all equal. Okay, there's only one race, humanity. Now, the way we govern ourselves on this planet, it's up to us. We have free will to do so. So, everything that's going on here is a result of this imaginary agreement between us. Okay? Now, there's different agreements. There's different ways that we interact with each other. Covert and overt. I listened to a few talks today. I listened to a talk from Trevor Noah. I listened to a talk from K. Scott, Dr. K. Scott. I listened to a talk from David Banner. The talk from Trevor Noah talked about a lot of different things. They were all good talks. The talk about what Trevor was talking about, part of it was the video with the white lady and the dog, white privilege and all of that stuff. I posted a video about a professor who was asking a group of white people if they wanted to be treated the same way that black people were. If they wanted to be treated that way, stand up. They didn't stand up. So what does that tell you? That they're aware. They are aware of what's going on. It's not covert, okay? It's only covert if you're not aware of it, if it's not seen. So a lot of this stuff has been going on overtly, right? But now it's being seen more because of cell phones, cameras, and all of this stuff. Nothing has been solved. The riots, all of this stuff, it's not getting to the root cause. Me, I want to get to the root cause. The root cause is a spiritual thing, but people don't want to go there, right? So we'll just deal on the mental aspect of it, okay? Mind, body, spirit, okay? So we'll deal with the mental aspect, right? Because we're dealing with mental slavery, okay? Because though they freed our bodies, they never freed our minds. They never freed our minds. There's no benefit for the system to have our minds free. Because as soon as you have a free mind, you begin to look at the system in a different way. You begin to question, and then you get to see what's really going on. You get to see 20/20 vision, which is what's going on now. All of this stuff is being raised to the front, right? So let me talk about what's going on now, if I can get you to follow me. Okay, so, and I know I'm jumping around because there's different things that are going on, and I kind of want to touch on different subjects. All right. Part of this system, right? part of this system of mental slavery. Okay, it's based on a belief system. Okay, BS, belief system. A belief system does not have to be true. Okay, belief systems do not have to be true. You can believe what you want. If I talk to a little small kid, I probably couldn't convince him that Santa doesn't exist. That's a belief system that was taught. Okay. Eventually that kid will learn that Santa does not exist and all of that good stuff, right? But that's a belief system. That's just one example of a lie that we were told. We were told a whole lot of other lies, right? And a lot of them are meant to keep us down, right? So racism is a belief system, and it is extreme ignorance. Extreme ignorance. Why do I say extreme ignorance? I consider myself to be a scientist. I'm a mechanical engineer. I understand the scientific method. I do scientific research, and I study things. I triangulate information. I look at different sources. I read. I do all of this stuff. I know about experimentation and all of this good stuff, right? So when you look at this thing scientifically, it doesn't make sense. I know I'm jumping because there's a whole lot of things going on. I'm going to go to Trump. I'm going to show you something. All right? Donald Trump. Right now, Donald Trump is 5 stories below, at least that's what they report, 5 stories below the White House. He's probably got people outside of the White House chanting and doing whatever they're doing. Donald Trump is down here, right? Now, Donald Trump likes to wear a hat called Make America Great Again. Y'all seen that, the MAGA hats. What do they call it? MAGA hats or whatever, Make America Great. Now, I did a video before asking, when was this? When was America great? So Donald Trump is down 5 stories in his bunker. He could easily talk about the belief system and say, hey, he can easily take a walk to one of the museums that's in walking distance from the White House and see the errors in the belief system of white supremacy. It's part of this racist society that this is built on. This system is built on this, which is a lie. If you go to that museum, what does the history tell you where life originated and where it started in Africa? There's only one race, and it happens to be brown, if you will. Now, if you don't like that, that's your business. You got to deal with that. White superiority is fake news, right? That's fake. Now, if that was the case, why don't they say that? Why do I have to tell you that? That's part of this system. That's part of what Trevor was talking about. The people that benefit from this system covertly, that oppresses us overtly and covertly as well. So that's what Trevor was talking about. K. Scott was talking about the house Negro and the field Negro. And I'm definitely not a house Negro. I wouldn't be doing what I was doing if I was a house Negro. House Negroes don't talk about dismantling the system. Now, there was another talk. He mentioned a talk by Killer Mike, talking about voting and everything. Well, here are my thoughts on that. You're going to vote another straw man in to this system, right? This system, look at what this system is built on, right? Just look down here, okay? Government now, all right? So yeah, you can vote. Vote for whoever you want. It's still a puppet. It's still a puppet, right? Because this whole thing was never rectified. I mean, it started off on the wrong foot, okay? Anyone we vote in there is a puppet. And if you understand the whole concept of what they call the deep state, you realize that these people that get voted in and out, they're a carousel, but there's a group of people that are there the whole time. There's a group of banks that is there the whole time, a group of institutions that are there the whole time, and they're organized. All right. David Barron talked about the system falling, and that's what we're seeing. But before that, it has to be exposed, right? This is about things coming to light, and there's some ugly stuff that's going to come to light. I mean, when you look at the people behind this power structure and how they really act, I mean, it is disgusting. It's probably the best way to put it. And a lot of people don't even want to go there because it's so nasty. But these are the people running the show behind the scenes. Example, we have, and this is something that I want to get your feedback on, because you talk about organizing, okay? So this happened Monday, and look at all of the stuff that's happened since then as far as the cities that have responded to this. Now, there's videos circulating that where this all started. You can see a person breaking windows in AutoZone that has on all black and, is trying to conceal themselves. That story is still developing, but they're using this as a means to implement other things. That's why I'm trying to show you the bigger picture, because they want us to just be reactive. They want us to just be emotional. And it's hard not to be. I mean, it's hard not to be. So, but that is playing into their hands. Because look at what happens when you're emotional. You're not rational. They want you to be not rational, to give them an excuse to enact other things, more control, more strict things. Martial law. I mean, look how close we are to that now. And that's why I don't know if voting is going to solve anything. Voting for a government that is built on slavery, that, I mean, is really changing the puppet up here going to change anything? No. So this system has been built on all of this stuff, right? So I say let it fall. Let it crumble. We can build a new one. Right? If our government is really for the people, by the people, if it's not serving the people, obviously not serving the people, then why do we want to continue to vote in people for this government? We need to change the whole system. And I think that's what we're going through now. Going back to the spiritual side, there's talk about an awakening that's going on, and this is part of that. And it's messy because this stuff has been going on for so long, and it's like pouring sugar in a cup of coffee. You can pour sugar in a cup of coffee and drink the coffee. If you don't stir it up, you won't taste the sweetness of the sugar, right? And when you stir it up, now it's very sweet, right? All that sugar in the bottom gets brought to the top. I'm not saying this is sugar. This is more like the opposite of sugar. But all of this is rising to the top. And let it rise so we can see it. And we can say to ourselves as spiritual beings that we don't want this anymore. We don't want this anymore. On the covert side, I wouldn't say a lot of the violence, but pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes. We're going to get blamed for a lot of the stuff that we didn't create, just based on this problem, reaction, solution. So they already know where they want to go. And if you're just reactive, it's very predictable. So if you're reactive and you just give them what they want, they can easily write a script and get you to play along with that script. I'm saying don't play along with the script, because again, it's all based on BS. We got a ways to go, y'all. And yeah, we got a ways to go, man. We're going to get there, though. I mean, I'm optimistic. I'm definitely optimistic. But it's going to take work. It's going to take us being responsible, right? So there's a talk about rights versus responsibility. Okay, so your rights are my responsibility. Okay, so if you have the right to whatever, it's my responsibility to uphold that right. That's part of the agreement. This has not benefited the majority of us, right? Um, because our rights have not really been upheld. Like, they don't care. Like, people have to realize they don't care. And it's just because you care, just because you have love in your heart and all of that stuff, doesn't mean they do. Like, it's hard for people to see or to comprehend somebody that has this amount of power that doesn't care about you. I can give you plenty of examples of that, but I won't right now because I'm trying to keep this short. But I don't know why this doesn't happen, why he doesn't just come. I mean, of course you know why he won't say it, because that will go against this whole thing, right? But from a scientific standpoint, and we can discuss that. White supremacy is BS. And that's what this is based on. And I'll say one more thing and I'll leave it alone. Because again, a lot of this slavery, this PTSD, post-traumatic slavery disorder, is a mental form of oppression. They've done a psyop on us. I talked about that before, where they made us feel inferior, they made us feel less than, and they even used religion as one of the big tools for that. And I know you don't want to hear that, but it's not my job to tell you what you want to hear. It's my job to tell you the truth. And one of the ways they do this is with religion, right? One of the main ways they do it, because that controls your spiritual aspect. And your spiritual aspect has to do with your mental aspect, and your mental aspect controls what you physically do here with your body, and what you physically do with your body is how we program the matrix. If they tell you that spiritually you were made inferior or you're cursed and all this garbage, right? That's all a belief system. Can easily be dispelled, just like white supremacy. Easily be dispelled with the truth. Easily slice this up. But this is something that you're going to have to uncover yourself. That's part of your own spiritual work. In the meantime, we're working on this physical plane and we're dealing with all of this crap, all of these things that are systematically bringing us down. And it's our responsibility to do something about it, not anybody else's. I don't necessarily agree with, let's vote someone else in, because they're still running on this same program, which is based on all of that. I'd like to see all of this just change. Start from scratch. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.